We are ready to start. Is there any public comment? No public comment. Thank you. Item number 1, presentation and discussion of the AMI project.
Good afternoon, members of the board. My name is Eddie Hernandez. I'm the Director of Enterprise Services, and I'll be giving you an update on the AMI project. Our total budget is $29.7 million. We received a grant funding of $5 million for this project, and we're coordinating 6 different vendors on the project: Landis & Gear, eSource, SmartWorks, Badger Meters, Allegiant, who is doing the meter installation, and Kayenta, who's one of our software partners. To date, we're on target, we're within scope, and we're under budget.
Wow.
So that's good. You will be seeing an item where we may will be requesting, which we presented earlier to our previous committee, where we may be using some of that savings to get some additional meters that that weren't in the scope because of growth. So rather than just leave them undone, we're going to say, hey, why don't we use some of the savings and attack those meters also? But I just wanted to clarify, because you're going to see multiple items on the next board meeting.
Okay.
So today we've spent about, of the 29.7, we've spent 25.4 million. We've got a remaining 4.2 million. We're about 85% complete on electric, 82% complete on water. Total project about 85% complete. So we are scheduled to finish the project in March of 2027. So about 6 months, I guess, something like that. And some of the savings that we've had on the project are through using PUB personnel and resources. On the lid replacement program, we used in-house staff instead of using the contracted staff. Even though we contracted outside with our outside vendor, Allegiant, we did have a clause in there to where if we were able to provide the services or the labor, that we could do so and we would not be charged. So like lid replacement, when we went and replaced all those metal lids, all 55,000 of them, we did that with our internal staff, so that saved us about 90,000. Warehousing, when Allegiant came down, obviously they're to bring all those 125,000 meters, they have to store them somewhere. So usually they rent a warehouse, security, et cetera, et cetera. We said, hey, we've got a warehouse right here in back, our old warehouse. Why don't you come inspect it? And we were able to use that and save some other funds. And that's how we built our contingency fund. So when you hear me refer to the contingency fund, and you will be hearing me referring to it at the board meeting, that's how we built up those savings, through contracting and through using our own services. Something that we were also able to do in the project that was kind of just it was unusual that popped up is one of the things that PUB was asked to do, it's really a responsibility of the city, is to identify the type of pipe that goes from the meter to your house. That's really the homeowner's responsibility. But the state requires that testing be done to find out whether it's lead, PVC, or whatever. And if it's lead, we have to notify the homeowner. That was going to be a huge expense, like a few $100,000. Since we were already visiting all the locations in town, we asked Allegiant, well, what would you charge us to do that? And we were able to do that at a minimal cost. I mean, like under 100. So that was a big win for us also. But that's just as an aside. So where are we today? We have about 45,200 electric meters installed. We've installed 43,087 water meters. And this will kind of give you a visual representation, because when I just throw numbers at you, I know most of us are visual. The little gray dots are all the meters, electric meters throughout town. Yellow is what we've installed. What we did was we started on the north side of town and worked our way backwards to the old part of town. The reason we did that is because the new part of town, the north side, was a bigger problem for us because of the growth that we've had in the last few years. So typically we have 20 billing districts, and we try to keep them even because there's 20 working days and there's only so much that the guys can do. The north side had all the growth, or all the new growth, the last 5 or 10 years. So we started there to take care of the biggest problem first. And we're working our way to the downtown area. As you can see, the few gray dots on the south side. Same thing with water. There are all the water meters, and here's what yellow is what is installed already. So it's a little bit slower than the electric meters because there's a little more physical interaction, but you can see we're making a lot of progress. So the next question is, what's next? So what can we do now that we have the AMI system in place? Well, one of the things that we're doing is typically customers, especially at this time of year, you get your bill, you take a look at it, you have a heart attack because it's August. It's one of the hottest months of the year. August and September are the 2 hottest months, and your bill is skyrocketing. You're also probably watering a little bit more because your yard looks like it's in intensive care. So unfortunately, in the past, we only had 1 read per month. So all we could do was tell you, well, here's what it is. We take A minus B, and the difference is C, and that's what you're going to get billed. But we didn't really know. Now with AMI, it's really all about the data. Now we have a lot of data. We're building up that data. We're getting a read from those meters, electric and water, every 15 minutes. So now if you've got your meter installed, we can show you, hey, this is what it looks like. This is, what happened on this on such and such day. Did you have children that came and visited, or did you have family that came in?
But are clients able to access it now?
I'm sorry?
Are clients able to access it themselves?
I would ask George, can they see that in Silverblaze yet?
Yes, they can. So if you have an AMI capable meter, you can see that through the self-service portal on Silverblaze.
Nice.
So there's going to be an application on the phone, no? Not yet?
No, so not yet. That's phase 2
Okay.
of the Silverblaze product coming up, but that's not available yet, but they can go online through the Silverblaze website.
There will be. Like George said, that's phase 2. But we want to get the system in first, and then. Now, one of the things we did as the project was rolling along, rather than waiting to the end, waiting until March 2027, we lit everything up. As I mentioned, we have 6 different partners that we're trying to integrate all their different pieces of software. So we made the decision, you know what? Last February, the system's in. We've already got meters reporting. Light it up and let's see what happens. I'd rather deal with a problem sooner than later. And there were some hiccups that we worked through. We had a lot of help from the customer service group, the billing group, the IT group, CIS, AMI. They've all worked together to help work through some of the issues. But we tried to do that when it was a smaller scale, and we've been knocking those out as we've gone along. So right now, we've got a couple of minor issues we're working on, but everything is pretty much functioning. What this slide is trying to say is, before we had 1 read, now we have a ton of data that we can use. If we're taking a read every 15 minutes, basically that means we're getting 96 reads per day on each of your meters. There's 122,000 meters, so that's 11.7 million reads daily that we get now. 4.2 billion, it's a terabyte of storage, and our plan is to retain about 5 years of data, so we'll have some history for you so you can compare. So kind of, if you remember, if you're old enough, back in the day, Clinton, his campaign thing was, it's the economy. Okay, well, it's now, for us, it's the data. But we have the data. Now we can work with you as a customer. We can help you try to find things. We can spot leaks quicker and notify our customers. We can send you, once we get Silverblaze in, we'll be able to send you notifications if your parameters are out of line, like if you're spending too much electricity or too much water. So it's all about the data. It's data that we can use for the customer for financial reasons, operational reasons, to help our employees, asset management, engineering, regulatory, and environmental. These are a couple of initiatives that we've started already. We're not waiting. We've already talked to some of our, working with our other departments. We're looking at streetlight controllers. We're looking at residential meters. Actually, we're looking at AMI 2.0, some higher level meters. I know one of your big concerns has always been blinks. You know, that an outage is one thing, but blinks is a problem because it's just irritating. So the next level of meter has the metrology in it where it does a better job of detecting what's going on. So we're working with the electrical operations and engineering departments to spec out that next generation meter. We're hoping to order some in March through the normal operations budget, not through the project, because the project will be done by then. And then we can use those meters. What we can do is take those meters in and put them in the areas that have been identified, the neighborhoods that have been identified as having those issues, and that'll help us pin down, okay, what's causing that? We're also creating a data lake. What's a data lake? Think of it as a giant database, but we can put all the information from AMI, all those reads that we're talking about, all that information we're talking about, as a single source where people can access that data, whether it be engineering or customer service or billing or whomever, and that's the true source of data. We're also looking at our outage management system. We'll be linking that to the AMI system. I'll get into these a little bit more in the presentation. So for electrical engineering, like I said, one of the things that we're looking at is the streetlight controllers. And what this will do is we'll be able to control them automatically. Right now, we have to physically go and, if you order a security light for your business, we have to go deal with that. Somebody has to drive out there and find out, is it on, is it off? If it's off, turn it on. If you disconnect the service, then we have to send somebody out there in a truck to turn it off. We'll be able to put controls on there using the AMI communication system and turn them on and off from here. It also provides all these other, this other information for us: power, voltage, current, photocell operation. It'll tell us if the photocell's burned out automatically, so we don't, historically, I mean, it sounds old-fashioned, but this is what we do, is we send a guy out at night, if somebody, and he'll make a round, because you can't see the lights in the day, right? And they're typically not on. So he'll drive around at night to see, are the street lights on, are they off? Here they can report back to us and let us know. On the electrical, on systems planning, this is what I was talking about as far as the Rovello meter. This is the next generation meter that will help us with the blinks, that will give us more data, and we'll be able to do a better job of trying to pinpoint what's happening. And this is where the data from the AMI models can kind of give us an idea of what's going on. We're already using this in a different aspect. When we met with engineering, one of the things that happens is when there's an outage or one of the substations has a problem, they'll shift load, from one feeder to the next feeder, so that you still have power. There may be a disruption of service for a little bit, but basically they're transferring load from one feeder to another. Well, historically, the way we did that was we just did the math and figured out, okay, which feeders can we switch it to, and we moved load. In talking to electrical engineering, they said, man, we really don't want to attack that problem. It's kind of a pain, because especially if you're switching it from A to B, if B has a problem, it would have been nice to have known that, so that we didn't put more load where we had a problem. And we met in meeting with them. We said, well, we can give you that data. We can give you performance data because of the AMI meters. So they actually started using that data already, and they've made it part of their new process to at least do a cursory review of the different feeders. So if I got to transfer load from one to the other, okay, if I have a choice, sometimes you don't, but if I have a choice, I'm going to put it on the most stable feeder. So those are things that we're doing already. On the AMI support, kind of like I said, we're going to create the data lake, which is a fancy name for basically like a database. And we will put all the information in that database straight from the AMI system. How that benefits us is then whoever's hitting that data, we know that they're using the true data. They're not going and creating something different. This is it's kind of like the certified, if it says this is the consumption, that is the consumption. That's what we have, that's what we pulled from the system. And so whether it be finance or engineering or customer service, we know that everybody's using the same pieces of data for whatever analysis that they're doing. That's, that helps everybody. On the SCADA operations side, we're going to be, we've already started the OMS project, which is the outage management system. How AMI will help the outage management system is basically it feeds it. Your outage management system takes information in of outages, and right now we use phone calls because that's the only thing we have, right? Customers call in and say, hey, I'm out of power. So we take that information and then it tries to extrapolate what's causing the outage. Is it that a tree hit a line? Is it that a transformer went bad? Is it something with the feeder, et cetera, et cetera? Well, obviously, the more data you have, the better that system will work to determine what the issue is. We're going to connect the AMI system to the OMS. The AMI, remember, the AMI system is every single meter in town. So you'll know exactly how big the scope of your problem, and that will help you determine what is the common element, what crew do we need to send out, and that can save hours on an outage, because a lot of times you have to send, if you only get one or two reports, especially during the day and nobody's home, you're going to send out somebody in a truck. They're going to go visit the customer and try to figure out what's going on. Whereas now you'll have the AMI system that will tell you, no, there's this whole cul-de-sac is out of power. Well, I don't even have to send anybody anymore. So you save all that time. You're saving at least a couple hours of diagnosing what the issue is, and you'll know immediately that, okay, this is who's out, what's the common element, and then the OMS system kicks in and tries to determine what the cause of that is, and we can send out the proper crew the first time. Some of the other things that we're doing is we're working with our environmental people to asking them, okay, what are your problems? And one of the issues that they have is maybe what's in the water or the wastewater. We have the ability to put sensors in there that can measure what kind of chemicals are there and report back to us. So they may do that in spot areas. So that's something that we're also exploring. And that's really the whole presentation. I just wanted to give you a brief update and answer any questions that you might have.
Sorry. Any questions? I'm supposed to ask, right?
She looks like she's
You good?
processing.
Like on the new constructions, on the new houses, the meters, the water meter and the electrical meters being paid by the builder, right? The new meters? On new constructions?
A PUB puts the meters in.
Yeah, but who's going, brand new constructions,
Yeah.
we're paying for it, or the builder's paying for it?
My understanding is
We-
that the customer ends up paying for it. It's included in the cost of eventually. We buy the meters.
Yeah, because when I used to build, we used to pay for the meters.
Yeah, PUB buy, I'm sorry. When I say we, I mean PUB purchases the meters. We keep them in the warehouse. Eventually, there is a contribution in
Well,
aid that the customer
Maybe I
pays.
rephrased my wrong question. So the customer will pay for the new meters, the owner of the house,
I believe
or
that's
the builder.
part of, I don't remember if that's part of the contribution in aid that everybody does.
It's the part of the CIC.
It is part of the, okay. So PUB buys the meters wholesale. We install them. Then there's a bill that goes to the customer for doing the extension.
They used to be called impact fee back in the day.
Yes. Ultimately, it's charged there.
All the new developments are using new meters, the water and electric.
Yes, to my knowledge, yes.
I think there are no more questions. Thank you.
But-
And congrats on
Thank you.
being on time, or what, faster and under budget.
Saving
So-
money.
Yes, thank you. Next item, Number 2, presentation and discussion of the renewal of the general liability, automobile, mobile equipment, crime, and excess workers' compensation liability insurances.
Good afternoon, members of the board, or good evening. My name's Adolfo Vasquez. I'm the risk insurance manager, and we're going to be going over the renewal for general liability, automobile, and this is all currently under TML, is our provider. If you're not familiar with TML, it's Texas Municipal League Intergovernmental Risk Pool. I will let you all know that we do have our rep from TML here, in case there's any specific questions on coverage or anything like that. Ms. Cynthia Gutierrez is sitting in the back. So currently we do have TML. We are recommending going with TML. They are exempt from the Texas competitive bidding statutes. Their coverage expires October 1st, or this is when our new policy will begin. They go October to September. The lines of insurance that they currently carry is general liability, automobile, mobile equipment, crime, and excess workers' compensation. So we are providing the board 2 options. I'm going to go down the lines here and kind of go over some of the numbers. For our general liability, the rate did go down by 14,000, 14%. Automobile line, that one was a significant increase. It did go up $114,000. The auto catastrophe, and this is where the 2 options come into play. Auto catastrophe was whenever we had an incident that damaged 2 or more of our vehicles. This is the line that we would use. We had a single deductible we'd pay, and then however many vehicles were damaged would get covered. TML is doing away with that effective October 1st. They are adding, or in this case, option 1 does include the auto physical damage line of coverage. Now, this comes with a deductible for individual damage to vehicles of $25,000. This is something we didn't have in the past. We were always self-insured. We paid our own damages. So this would be an additional coverage. In addition to that, it does have a something to replace the auto catastrophe line, where we have 2 or more vehicles getting damaged, and this can be due to flooding, any type of weather incident, disaster, either man-made or natural, where it affects 2 or more vehicles in our fleet. That line of coverage would come in, and that comes with a deductible of $50,000 per incident. Moving on from general liability to our workers' compensation. Our workers' compensation did go up to $107,000. That was an increase of $14,000. That's 15%. Our mobile equipment coverage went up $3,000, and our crime coverage did go down by $1,500. So this is option 1 that comes out to a total contribution of $687,771. Again, that does include that auto physical damage coverage. Now, option 2, same thing, except it leaves out the auto physical damage. Again, this is a line that we haven't covered before, but we were presenting it to cover the now deleted line of coverage, which is for the auto catastrophe. So this comes in at $100,000 less, at $586,950,000. So we do recommend that both options be considered, and the board approve option 1 for a total contribution cost of $687,000. Reason for that being is it does provide us coverage, even though it does come at an added price, for that catastrophe event. If we ever have a hurricane where we have a flooding event, anything that would damage 2 or more of our vehicles, we would be covered. It does come with a $50,000 deductible. Prior to this, we were paying $60,000 with a $10,000 deductible. So there is an increase, but again, the risk of going through a hurricane, going through any type of disaster where our fleet gets damaged, it could save us, that cost could go up into the millions very easily.
Thank
So
you.
again,
Oh,
we do recommend option one. And next, steps that we're requesting for the committee to recommend including the renewal of TML liability insurances in the September 14th board meeting under consent.
Thank you. Any questions?
When you say fleet, that includes everything? The big trucks,
Yes,
passenger vehicles, everything?
bucket trucks, yes. From our big cranes down to our vehicles, passenger vehicles.
Have we had damage due to, you mentioned hurricanes in the past. Have we had damage that you're aware of, or?
We have had, recently, we have not had any major event that has wiped out or taken out a portion of our fleet. That possibility is always there.
Of course.
Because of where our proximity to the coast. But no, we have not had something where we've utilized the auto catastrophe line in the past.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I need
No.
to understand more about insurance because I don't know what's automotive insurance and then auto catastrophe. To me, an auto insurance is an auto insurance. It will cover everything, right?
Right.
So why
so
is
the-
there are 3 or 4 different
So-
types there.
So yes, for example, on the automobile liability, that's when whenever we have a vehicle incident, we hit somebody using a motor vehicle, then that's where that line of coverage comes in. The auto catastrophe covered our vehicles in case of a disaster, for example. So now that that's being deleted, or that line item is no longer offered, the auto physical damage would take over that. So basically, the auto physical damage is going to serve as our own insurance for our vehicles, for our fleet, which in the past we've always had, we were always self-insured. We would pay, PUB would take on the cost to any damage.
That's
But
my
again,
insurance.
it does provide 2 lines of coverage. The $25,000 deductible for individual damage, whatever type of damage that's suffered by a unit, and it comes with the coverage of 2 or more vehicles getting damaged in any type of situation.
Yeah.
What
So
is different?
did you get that?
Yes.
Okay.
Because my policy insurance covers everything, so I'm, you know what I mean? Like, my automotive insurance will cover everything.
Hurricane,
Yeah,
So I
that
don't know
would,
why
that-
it's the difference,
and
2
normally
different covers.
we will refer to
separate.
that as comprehensive for, like, let's say you have full
Yeah, I have
coverage.
full coverage.
Yeah, so that would cover everything, and here at PUB, we do not have full coverage.
Okay.
We would have, these would be the lines that would come in. The closest one that would
So that will
cover
make you your full cover.
with a
yes.
$25,000 deductible, correct?
Okay. Thank you.
So how do the committee members feel about accepting the staff recommendation of option 1 and including it in the consent agenda?
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with it. Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, I'm okay too. So we can do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 3, presentation and discussion on the renewal of the umbrella liability insurance.
Correct, thank you. So, background, current policy provides protections against catastrophic liability claims. This policy acts as an excess coverage over PUB's primary liability policies. Basically, anything whenever we reach our limits from our regular lines of coverage, and it goes past that, if it's a really large claim, our excess insurance comes in and covers the difference. So we're not left with footing the bill. This was approved back in September 9, 2024, for a option to renew for 3 years. This, right now, we are the current policy term was our 2nd year. The renewal policy term will be our 3rd year. On the renewal terms, our excess general liability pretty much covers for our general liability, pollution liability, auto liability, employer's liability, pretty much all the lines that we have, or most of the lines that we have at $35 million. Our premiums in this, for this event did go up $44,000. Now, we have not used, fortunately, we haven't had to use this coverage, but this is something that we still want to keep in, as far as coverage goes. It's always a risk not to have it. It was an increase of 6%. Normally, on a year-to-year basis, we do budget for a potential increase of 10 to 15%, just because of cost of coverage that continues to increase. We do continue to recommend that we renew the quote submitted by Aegis through our insurance broker Hub International in the amount of $771,433.43. And we would also be requesting for the facilities to recommend the included renewal with the for the September 14th meeting under consent as well.
Any questions?
Nope.
Is it negotiable, the 6% increase?
No, this is the new renewal rate that was provided by Aegis. to renew.
I'd rather there not be a 10 to 15% allocation, just in case. I think that just incentivizes, whatever vendor to increase it, even if there wouldn't be. I mean, I'm not saying that in this case there wouldn't be an increased cost to them,
Mhm.
but yeah, I think, especially if it's common knowledge that you're already accounting for it.
Right.
It would be an incentive to just increase. How does the committee feel about including this item in consent agenda for next meeting?
I have no problem.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, we can do that. Thank you.
I think when we quote, we also have multiple vendors.
Yes, yes, we did.
So that kind of helps, but maybe to your point, if all of them know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I calculated here, it was 16.4% from the original year
correct.
for next year, so.
Yeah, last year it did go up 10%, and this year it went up 6%.
Okay. Okay, so we're moving on to the next item, item number 4, presentation and discussion on the renewal of the directors and officers and employment practices liability insurance. Oh, that's us. You got us covered, right?
Yes, absolutely. So yes, directors and officers liability insurance. This is payable to directors and officers or the company for any losses or advancements in defense cost in the event that an insured suffers a loss such as results in legal action brought for alleged wrongful acts on our part. This was initially approved by the board for 3 years with the renewal option or each year on September 9, 2024, and our current policy term expires at the end of September. Renewal date would be effective October 1st.
Do we also have excess insurance? No.
So here we do have, again, our broker in this case is Hub International, and our insurer is Aegis as well. As you can see, we did provide the historical, the current line and the renewal. Our policy premium has gone up from the original quote that was submitted back in 2024, approximately $200, $300. So this one has maintained pretty much a stable premium price. Again, PB staff, we do recommend moving with Aegis through insurance broker Hub International in the amount of $119,000. And staff is requesting Facility and Programs Committee recommendation to include the renewal of directors and officers' employment practice liability insurance with Aegis through Hub International in September 14th, 2026 board meeting under consent.
Any questions?
It says there SRWA, they're covered as well with this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So SRWA they're required to, the only requirement they have is bonding, but we've included them in this and for a small increase in premium, very
Yeah.
minor increase and for the additional protection.
Yeah, that's a very good idea, and the incremental cost there is minimal.
Yes.
And-
Yeah, I'm okay.
And BPUP gets paid back, right?
What's that?
BPUP gets reimbursed?
For this one, no. No, now they do have their bonding that they're required to have. This one is something that we added. Again, the increase was very minimal, and it's just been included in the premium. If you look at let's see,
Yeah, it's like 4,000.
yeah, it was just under 5,000 in 2024 when it was originally put in, and it's
Oh,
just been
5,000.
included in the
Right.
price.
I
the
mean,
last 2 years.
even though it's a small amount, you know, my mother used to say, cuentas claras. Wait, what's the end of that? Amistades largas. There you go. And so we want to be clear about, you know, what our ratepayers are paying for. And when our ratepayers end up subsidizing other cities' water, you know, that also comes from SRWA, you know, then I don't think they would be very happy about it. So if we don't get reimbursed for that, I don't think we should include it.
Okay. What we can do is we will get the exact number of what that increase is, and we will, I'll get with finance and SRWA to see if we can get that reimbursement, if they're willing to do it. If not, it'll be something that we can take off.
Okay, thank you.
And we'll
It
have- we'll
says
have that
included there, so I don't know if it's like free. This last year, maybe the first payment was the 5,000.
Right, the first one was the 5,000, and because it was such a small number, they did advise us that they were just gonna include it in the premium, but I would have to just find out exactly
Yeah.
how much that was.
So in other words, for this last year, we're not paying anything extra for SRWA.
Not based on.
Maybe
the
we can
number.
check.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you want to go back, you know,
Yeah.
a few years or anything,
No.
but
Yeah, but we'll go for the renewal, we'll.
but we should tell them.
Yeah.
We'll tell Joseph.
We'll definitely
You
get
should feel safe because of
extra safe.
yeah.
Yes.
So then I'll get that information, and if it is something that, that can be transferred over, then would we be okay with continuing?
Yes.
Okay,
So
so I'll
we're-
get that information and have that ready.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I think you can still have it in consent, and if anyone feels they need to pull it out out of consent to discuss, we can.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
We'll get that
Thank you,
information
Adolfo.
to you guys as
Let
soon
us
as
know the
possible.
information, please.
And I think that's it. Item number 5. Any requests for future agenda items?
No?
No? I think we're good.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We are adjourned. Thank you so
Yeah.
much and have a great